Hey everybody, welcome back to the van. Well, today I want to talk about two things. One is a permanent address or some type of an address, and two is what to do about getting your mail and stuff. Now, first of all, before I say anything, understand I'm not a lawyer. This is what I think that you should do, but don't take it as being the gospel. Don't take it as being law. Check with people first. I've heard people on both sides of what I'm about to tell you say, this works, and people say, nope, this doesn't work. So check it out for yourself. First thing, if you're leaving a residence, if you're going to move into your vehicle full time, check to see if any of your policies for insurance of your vehicle, for health insurance, for medical coverage, for whatever you have, see if it requires an address. Because if you get rid of an address in a province, you may not qualify for the provincial medical coverage. And I'm talking about Canada. Maybe the same in the US, maybe the same in Europe. So check these things out. You may end up losing your medical coverage if you leave an area and you don't have some type of an address. Now, just the other day, kind of funny that I should be talking about this today, maybe this is what brought it up. Just the other day, I heard from somebody who was not allowed to cross a border, and they were in Europe, and they were stopped at the border, and they were asked where was their permanent address. They told them that I live in my vehicle, and they were turned back. Why? Because the country considered them as an immigrant or as a refugee or whatever you want to call it, and they would not let them in the country without a permanent address. So here's what I would suggest you do. First of all, keep an address. Now, it doesn't have to be an apartment, a house, or whatever. You could rent a room from a friend or a relative, somebody who you know is not going to move around a lot, and you could tell them, look, I'm going to give you this much money a year for that little space in the corner so I can keep some stuff there, and I can call this my home. I would suggest doing that, because that way it keeps your foot in the door at the place where you used to live. And again, a lot of times we don't need addresses, but it comes in handy if we can say, this is my residence. I have a place to go back to. And it may help you in the future if you are crossing a border, that you can tell them, hey, here's where I spend my time. Here's where I stay when I'm back in this country or in this city or in this town. Now for mail. Now, mail is one of these things that today we really don't need to get. We can get just about everything online that we possibly need. But, and here's a big but, some places require an address. For instance, somebody the other day that I was talking to had gone out and they had an insurance policy on their vehicle. And the insurance company says, okay, what's your mailing address? And they said, oh, just send it to me via email. And they says, no, what's your mailing address? They said, oh, just send it to me. No, what's your mailing address? They says, well, I don't have a mailing address. And they says, sorry, we cannot give you the paperwork. We cannot give you the policy without a permanent address. Now, they're able to get around it by going to another insurance company. They explain to that insurance company, and that insurance company says, fine, no problem. But some places require permanent addresses. For taxes, for other stuff, for medical, you require a way for them to be able to send you certain things. Some doctors will send out paperwork. I have one doctor who sends me everything via email. It's great. It's wonderful. I had a doctor a year ago, actually I think it's 2 years ago now, that would send nothing out by email. Everything had to be mailed. He would send nothing out. So I had to give him an address. He had to have a place to send it to. And he would not send it out any other way unless he could send it to an address. Now, if somebody's there to get your mail, if somebody is there to have stuff delivered, they can always scan it in and send it to you. They can always tell you in an email or a text saying, hey, you got this document, it says it's important, this is what it says, what do you want to do? And you can go from there. You don't necessarily have to hang around to get it. People can forward stuff to you. If it's something that you have to have in your possession, like a passport, and they've sent the passport to what your permanent address is listed as, then you can always have the person forward it on to you. If it's a medical form or a medical certificate or something like that, you can always have that person send it on to you if you need the hard copy. But if you keep a permanent residence, so that you can have a house address, and also so that your mail can be delivered and people can check it out and then forward it to you. It will save you a lot of headaches. Now, can you do it without? Sure. I know a lot of people who use post office boxes. I know a lot of people who use storage addresses. But I also know many people who have run into roadblocks with that. And they were told, sorry, it's a post office box. We will not accept it. We need an actual physical land location. And I know people who have tried giving storage units, and they were good for many, many times. And then they gave it to too many places, and they said, sorry, guess what? We're not accepting it. So in order to make it simpler for you, I suggest rent a tiny space, have all your stuff there, keep that as your permanent address. It'll make life so much easier. So until next time, have a great day. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so maybe check this out with your insurance companies and stuff to make sure that it is okay, and then go from there. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.